and welcome to another episode of the LCFA Market Plus. Food production is not just about how we grow our foods, it's about how we preserve them. Today we are at Lunch and Grants to explore how they are using their cold chain technology to also ensure food security. So come with us and let's explore together.
Hello, my name is Tunde Okoye. I'm the CEO of Lunch and Grant Commodities. We specialize in cold chain infrastructure for stationary, off-grid, and hybrid solutions for transportation, distribution, and storage of perishable items. It's a pleasure to be on this show. The value of cold chain cannot be underestimated in the entire agro sector, specifically for agro logistics. The agri sector is obviously broken down into the production, the agro logistics, before you take it to the point of sale where it is consumed. The gap between the production and the consumption is essentially what we refer to when we talk about cold chain logistics. It's called cold chain for a particular reason. You cannot break any of those nodes before it gets to the final consumer because it affects the integrity of the product, and it also helps improve the quality and the nutritious value of the food when it gets to the final consumer. It extends the shelf life of the product by preserving through cold chain infrastructure to reduce the problems of post-harvest losses, which is estimated to be close to 40 to 50%, depending on which data you're looking at. And Nigeria has had a very poor cold chain infrastructure and has created a lot of inefficiency in the production of the agricultural system. This has led to very poor returns for farmers, very high and exorbitant products by way of this, because if you produce and you're losing 40 to 50%, obviously someone has to pay for that price. Usually it's the end user that pays for that price. And the farmers also pay for it in terms of low revenue, and they remain subsistent and they could never really grow to scale to commercial farmers. Finally, it also locks Nigeria out of a potential for export, especially these days where we know that we are trying to diversify the sources of foreign exchange earnings in this country. We cannot ship products, especially fresh produce and fresh commodities, horticultural products, out of this country without first-class agro-logistics. Now, if you look at countries like Ghana and most of the other countries like Senegal and the Sahel, where they rely a lot on agriculture, you find out that fresh perishable products account for a huge volume in terms of their foreign exchange earnings. So these are part of the challenges, infrastructural challenges that we have. The focus has always been on production. I think we need to start looking at a more sophisticated process that can enable scale and large-scale commercial agriculture in this country. We will never achieve that without putting in place the right infrastructure. You are welcome to our plant, our facility. This is our fully automated continuous line. It's the first of its kind in West Africa. It has a capacity of 1 million square meters. We can use this line both for cold chain, manufacture of cold chain panels, warehouse, storage, both industrial, commercial, and off-grid. We also have the possibility of using this line through slight enhancements to also produce affordable housing solutions. you can, but let's stick to the cold chain, which is the main reason why we're here.
Yeah.
You can use this for blast freezers, building out of cold chain trucks, tricycles, and all the different sizes. So this is the building block, more or less. It's just like your block that you'll use if you wanted to build a conventional house. If you want to build cold chain infrastructure, the beginning is the building block, the walls that are required that have very high insulation. And of course, the purpose of the insulation is to prevent the exchange of air, and it has very close, tight cell structure that does not allow infiltration of the heat. So essentially, this is it, and we partner with so many other companies in order to create an hybrid off-grid power solutions for storage for all the various temperatures.
This
and
is
even
huge.
for humidity and temperature control for things like potato that may not require cooling.
Okay.
So all preservation methods that you require may not necessarily require cooling. They may just also require an ambient environment within the storage space that would reduce deterioration of the food stored within it.
Okay.
For example, like potato, for example, you don't cool potato, but you create an ambient temperature within that prevents moisture from coming in and that can preserve it. So that's it. It's fully automated when running, and it's top class, world class standard.
I can
panel.
see this is a whole lot of investment here.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Insulated sandwich panels like this can either be produced manually or automated. Now let's walk through the process of production. Let's go.
At times most time we import the materials, okay, and we can also get the materials from the local markets.
Okay. Imports from what countries? Are they in Nigeria or what?
Not Nigeria. We have some of these materials in Nigeria, but buying from Nigeria takes we can't really rely more. But we have other vendors who can actually give us what we needed. But most often we buy from outside because we have our partners abroad who actually basically supply us most of the materials we need. You know, you've seen we have two lines. We have the continuous line, which is the automated line. We have the discontinuous line. Okay, this one is operated manually, while this one is automated. So the prices are different from each other. Okay, this price is much cheaper compared to this.
So walk us through what's the process of coupling these facilities like? How do you just give it like this to the farmer? Do you couple it for them?
Now, we produce it, okay, and we also have installers who installs it. Okay, we have an installer, in-house installer, and if you are buying it from us, if you have your installer, good and fine, we just sell to you. So it's a male and female panel. Okay, it's made of male and female, the coupling. So they interlock each other. Okay, the male goes into the female and lock.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how you assemble them. So this is the coil. Okay. So the coil runs through this. So this is where we corrugate it. Okay. We corrugate here and we cut into client's length. The coil, okay, we have two coils, okay, one for the top and one for the bottom. Okay, understand? So this is for the bottom, while that is for the top. So we run the coil through this. So at this point, okay, at the top we have what we call the corrugation. The machine here corrugates the coil and flare it. Okay, it corrugates it and flare. While the one under also go through this machine here, it corrugates it and also flare it. Okay, so if you are buying a large quantity, okay, we can use our automated machine. We are looking at not less than 2,000 square meters and above. Okay, we can use the automated machine to produce that. And the price for it all depends. We have the lowest price for the automated machine, ranging from the 40 mm to 100 mm, depending on your choice. Okay, so it's actually suitable for that. Just like I said earlier, the price is slightly different compared to the continuous line, the automated machine. This price for 50 mm. This is sold for 42,000, let's say 43,000. Why this is sold for 49,000? Because it's being produced on the discontinuous line, and the reason being that we usually have a lot of waste on this, so that's the difference. Here we have limited waste, but on this machine we have a lot of waste, so that's why the price is different compared to this.
The initiative by Lagos Commodities Futures Exchange to try and trade perishable products on the floor of the stock exchange, I think is going to be a major game changer. This is what the missing gap that I believe is in the entire ecosystem. Because if you can trade both perishable products either for short or futures, it helps farmers produce, and then it helps roll out infrastructure that is required, for people to trade, and to ensure that the products that are traded are well graded and that they are stored properly and that they can preserve both the quality and the value that will create trust in the market. This is going to be a major game changer that I believe can catalyze the investments that is required in this sector. It would help the farmers produce more, it would help them improve their revenue, it will reduce post-harvest losses, and it would create the element of planning and forecasting in our agricultural sector. This is important in taking the farmers away from the subsistence level to a commercial farming, and this would engage everybody in the ecosystem, because you will have the people that farm assurance that will grade and ensure that the qualities are right, the certification. It's when you put these building blocks in place that you can now start talking about an export market. We know that the domestic market is even yet to be fulfilled, but at the end of the day, we're talking about diversification of foreign exchange. We're building these efficiencies in the system. That's when we can now really go ahead and export, like countries like Peru, Mexico, and South America that have a great thriving export market in the horticultural sector. Nigeria has tremendous advantage in order to position itself to win those markets and earn foreign exchange, improve the lives of those in the rural communities, engage people to go back to agriculture and farming. I think it's a game changer, and kudos to LCFE, where we at Lange and Grant are positioned as infrastructure providers for cold chain infrastructure. What is missing is a national cold chain infrastructure policy. This is very important. Standards need to be ascertained. The intervention of LCFE would essentially create a plain level field and standardize the entire process and operations that is required for the agri sector.
Thanks for having us today.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Right.
Now, in a country where we have more than 70% of our food given to post-harvest losses, technologies like these are needed to ensure food security. That's all we can take on today's episode of LCFE Market Plus. Till I come your way same time next week, do well to follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do have a great week. Bye for now.